Hello guys, hi! It's Amanda. Welcome back to my channel. A lot has happened since the last time I filmed a video. I chopped off my hair. Well, actually my grandma did, because we're in quarantine, so what else do you do while you're in quarantine? You just chop off all your hair. And guess what? I finally got my camera back today, so good quality videos are back. I'm so excited to be filming all the time, and I'm just excited for today's video. Today, let's talk about the danger of buy now and paying later. The beautiful world of online shopping. Being there for whenever you want or need is readily available to you at any time. So if you want to go shopping at 3 a.m. on Amazon to get fluffy slippers, you can get that. What's even greater is that it can be delivered to your door even the next day, which is kind of crazy to think about. Like, imagine if a package was from, I don't know, in 10 states away from you, and then it can be sent to you overnight. I just always have thought that's kind of crazy. An even more tempting way to keep up with the trends is this thing called Afterpay. Suddenly, that $100 in your cart can be broken up into $25 increments. A couple of popular installment plan companies that have come up within the recent years are Afterpay, which I've obviously heard of Afterpay. If you haven't heard of Afterpay, where have you been? What's the other one called? Affirm, QuadPay, and Klarna. So you're probably thinking, wow, I can finally afford that expensive designer bag that your favorite IG model is wearing. Or wow, I saw that Kylie Jenner wore this $200 t-shirt and I can break it up into $50 little payments. I remember seeing this person on Twitter talking about how they loved Afterpay because they bought this makeup palette that they have been wanting for a very long time, but they couldn't pay for it all in one go. So they used Afterpay, and it was an easy way to keep up on their other bills that they had to pay, because you obviously have to pay your bills, but also she was able to have that palette in her drawer because it was broken up into, I want to say, $15 to $20 payments, and she just asked other people what their thoughts on it were, and there were a lot of mixed reviews. So I'm gonna be talking more in detail about the dangers of buy now and pay later. Now, I personally have never used Afterpay. I just hate the feeling of owing money to someone, and yes, I have the product and it's mine, but I feel like it's not fully mine because I haven't fully paid for it. But I do see the desire in it, but I personally would never do Afterpay. I just would rather pay it up front or just not buy it. Let's talk about the psychology of buying now and paying later and why it's so appealing. I think when we hear smaller numbers over bigger numbers when purchasing an expensive item, we're like, oh, yes, take my money. When in reality, you're paying the full amount for that item, but you're just like, oh, well, it's better since I'm paying in for small increments. Yeah, it's totally fine, which is so understandable. A big reason why all of this is so appealing is because of that instant gratification and being able to fit into / relate to others. So if somebody else buys something, you're like, oh, I gotta buy it too, so then I can relate to them so we can talk to each other about this item. I'm very interested in the fashion / beauty world, and there are hundreds of thousands of products that are being put out every year. And I easily find myself getting really sucked into advertising and just what the product is in general, because I'm not gonna lie, these companies make these products look amazing. No matter what the clothes look like, the makeup items, I'm like, oh, I need this blush in my life, even though I already have 4 blushes. I honestly do not need You know what I mean? Like, I should be using what I already have and not falling for their marketing. But it is very difficult because you're just like, oh well, everyone else is getting hyped up about it, so I gotta have it too. So it is very difficult. I've heard a lot of people talking about FOMO. If you don't know what FOMO is, it is the fear of missing out. So you see that somebody has like a new lip gloss and you're like, oh my gosh, I need that lip gloss in my life. But really ask yourself, how is this going to add to my life? How am I going to be using this? Am I truly going to be using this? If I'm paying this much money, am I going to truly use it? So I just got the Fenty lip gloss, which by the way, oh, I love it so much. I got it in the shade Fussy. I'm wearing it today. But I saw that lip gloss a long time ago and I was like, okay, if I want this product in, let's say, a 3-month time frame, that means that I really want it and it'll add value to my life. So I paid a little bit of extra money for that lip gloss and I am using it in my everyday life. And as long as you know that you'll use it, then that's great. But when you just see others hyping products up, it gets very overwhelming. It's just a never-ending cycle of wanting and having that need of something new. And of course, there's nothing wrong with keeping up with these trends as long as you can afford it. And something that can really help to make sure that you can afford it is budgeting out your money every month. There's tons of apps that you can get on the App Store that help you like keep track of where your money is at. And yeah, I know a lot of people, my dad has tried to teach me how to write a checkbook. It is not fun, but it does keep you on track to know where your money is. Just like tiny little expenses that you think like, oh yeah, like I'll for sure remember that. Sometimes you don't always remember it. So keeping up on your budgeting is a really good idea. And making sure you have a backup money in case of an emergency, because let's say that you have 3 purchases on Afterpay and you have to pay $25 on each of those payments, and an emergency comes up and you didn't budget that month, and now those 3 purchases that you made through Afterpay, you're gonna be fucked. Because you don't have the money for it. And Afterpay and like Klarna and which other one says that they don't have interest, but I know that, what was the other brand? Okay, so Afterpay, Affirm, and QuadPay and Klarna. One of them does, I can't remember now, I'm so sorry you guys. One of them does have like a 30% APR, so just be aware of that and just be sure that you have the money to spend on all of these expenses. Now, we as a society live way beyond our means, meaning spending money you don't have for a luxurious life. I know that we all want to be Kylie Jenner, but we don't always have the Kylie Jenner budget. So there's a societal norm also to credit card like debt issued from college, having the best car, or anything you can't afford at that time. Credit cards can be both a blessing and a curse. Now I'm kind of like straying away from Afterpay and now I'm talking about credit card stuff. So when I went to New York with my dad, December 2018, my mom sent like an emergency credit card just in case anything happened. We didn't know if anything was gonna happen, but it actually did. So my dad and I were on a subway, but we realized we were going the wrong way, so we got off and then my dad realized that he had left his wallet on the subway, and we still needed a Metro card and all of that to get back to our hotel, and thankfully I had that credit card, so I could get my dad a new Metro card, because I didn't have that much money on me at the time either. Metro cards are low-key expensive. So credit cards are great for that, as well as building your, what is called, like your credit score? I think that's what it's called. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And as long as you pay it off, all is good. It's a lot easier said than done though. Credit cards, loans, savings, and even emergency funds allow you to buy more things than your income would usually allow. So what do you guys think about these different payment plans? Do you find them helpful or harmful? Let me know down in the comments, and I'll be responding to what you guys have to say. If you like this video and you want more like it, give it a thumbs up, and I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye!